Okay, so here's what I got told here. I have a contact in the area, and it goes all the way up to the U.S. Coast Guard. And this is what's happening right now. Get my notes. The U.S. Coast Guard right now is obtaining thousands and thousands, which was what was told to me, of body bags right now in that whole area of Florida. There are people missing. And what was said to me is that the American media is totally downplaying just how bad this is and the amount of deaths that have just occurred now. So here's kind of an aerial shot of it all. You see the devastation there. Look at that. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable devastation. We haven't seen things like, this since Katrina. We heard about Harvey in Texas, but this is, it's turning out to be a lot worse, but let me explain. Think about like all the big signs, like at hotels or restaurants, with the lights outside, glass carvings, they're all getting just sharded up and they're attacking people, and the floods are is what is killing people. People are stuck in their homes. I think there's a lot of elderly people, perhaps in certain areas and regions of this particular part of Florida. Here is the tricky part of it all. We know about weather weapons. None dare call it conspiracy. Let's get past the peer pressure there. This hurricane, Lisa, it was at a standstill from what the U.S. Coast Guard said over the following place. And I'm going to, if we can pull this up, Lisa, now would be a good time. It's called Mosaic Florida Phosphate. Mosaic Florida Phosphate. And there's certain pipelines that are connected to it. Okay. So here we have it. So Lisa will thumb through it as we continue our journey. So what this is, the Mosaic company here, get this, everybody. 50% of North America's fertilizer comes from this company right here, from this company. And it's connected in a similar sense to what just took place at the Baltic Sea in that pipeline. Now, why this is important, because the fertilizer, what do we know that fertilizer does, Lisa and/or Jalumbo?
Yeah, well, they use them to help grow the crops, didn't they, to get the food to people?
Basically, they're mining sort of like rocks and minerals from the sort of local area in vast amounts, and obviously they collect that to use as fertilizer, because that's the easiest, cheapest way of doing it. And using animal fertilizer and things like that. But the trouble is, they protect these waterways. They have all these systems in place where they protect things, and obviously with this happening, that could cause problems, because that could get into the water.
So they provide all the fertilizer, 50%, as I'm re-looking at this real quick.
Yeah, they've got a little update on their website about the hurricane. Hurricane Ian has passed through Florida, and we are assessing impacts from the storm. Many of our employees have lost power and received varying levels of damage. We are working to check in with every employee and believe all remain in safe locations. Employees are asked to connect with their leader or HR when possible. So even if there's not damage to the place, you've got the actual people that work there. They're all displaced, and their homes are damaged, so that's going to affect it as well.
Okay, yes, this is huge, everybody. We're talking about, the food-demic all this time, 2 years now. We've seen prices go up. We haven't really seen the full extent of what a food-demic has promised it would be, but this is a major, major deal that's going to affect Canada as well. So all of North America, and it's going to make us dependent on somebody. We're going to find out who. Just like yesterday, Lisa, when we saw the EU and the Federal Reserve together talking about the new cryptocurrency that they're going to be unleashing and how they want to help people. They're going to give us stimulus to it. It's a bait and switch, everybody. So why is this happening? Well, I have an idea, because we're on the cuffs of the 25th Amendment being used on Biden. We're on the cuffs of Pelosi being ousted. She's getting booed. The Democrats want to replace these older people of the original Democrats, and they want to put the new class in to prepare for the 2024 and the midterms. That's why you don't really hear a lot of hoopla what the Democrats are doing, because they know, first of all, there very well may not be a midterm election. It may be prolonged. And if they can prolong it and get all these people out, then they put the Democrats 2.0 in. So here it is.
throwing between Governor Gavin Newsom and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, Newsom is challenging DeSantis to a debate and says he's treating migrants like pawns. DeSantis not backing down after flying dozens of migrants unannounced to Martha's Vineyard.
Governor Newsom did not mince words. He called Governor Ron DeSantis' actions a disgrace, as Democrat reaction is.
There will likely be more flights. But
Florida GOP Governor Ron DeSantis doubling down on organizing flights of almost 50 migrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard on Wednesday. DeSantis now taking aim at Governor Gavin Newsom after Newsom called on the Justice Department to investigate DeSantis' actions.
The governor of California sent a letter to the Department of Justice saying you need to prosecute Texas and Florida governors. And all I can say is I think his hair gel is interfering with his brain function.
Okay, I'll come back to that too. I just want to wet your whistle here, okay? And I love that. But did you hear what they were saying? Newsom, who was getting a lap dance from that PMS NBC reporter the other night, as we saw when she was interviewing him. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Remember, they were like on nitrous oxide or something. They were just like laughing and, oh, he's not running for anything.
At the end of our interview, I asked Governor Newsom about his own political ambitions and whether or not his recent offensive against Republicans is a prelude to maybe a future presidential run. Presidential run. Presidential run. Running? Would you ever?
Bullshit.
No, I'm not remember.
Yeah. No.
What are you on about?
All that stuff was happening, but he's working with the Department of Justice, everybody. Newsom is. But to take out DeSantis and take out who? Abbott of Texas. Florida and Texas. Remember, Florida and Texas. There's a shooting in Texas with the high school, then there's a hurricane, then there's a shooting in Florida, then vice versa.
They seem to always get the really tragic, quite bad weather events in Florida and Texas. Just if you're watching for the UK, it's always either Texas has got really shitty weather and their power's going out, and people ain't got any, and it's always Florida and Texas, and
they're the leaders of the Republic fighting back, because right now we're seeing the power struggle of the old world order that's holding on for dear life, and between another world order, just like we saw in The Godfather. There's like all these crime families, yes, but one is a satanic pedophile wing, and the other is just, they want to be the boss hog and the pit boss all the time. Okay, we can live with that, and there's a fight right now. So is it out of the question, Danielle? I'll go to you first. Is it out of the question to think that Newsom and his people are behind a lot of this, because this is going to sink the country so bad that we could just completely not even reach the midterm elections? What say you, Danielle A?
Well, it's never out of the question, although I don't think he's smart enough to be doing it all on his own. I think that, there's obviously people above him that are helping along, but this was all orchestrated for sure. We know they're throwing everything at it. They, like you mentioned, they're trying to get rid of certain people, and they know that their time is short. And yeah, I don't put this past Newsom at all.
No, we don't put it past that.
It's very interesting. It's also heading to the UK now. I've never seen a hurricane in Florida that's headed straight to the UK afterwards. Never seen that in my life, but we're getting it next. Apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jamie, they can't seem to restart COVID 1984.
No.
Part 4, this time, taking it to the streets edition. They can't seem to get a new variant going, can they?
Basically, that's what it is. If you listen to some of the news articles that we're going to be sharing shortly, you'll see that is actually, unfortunately for them, coming to an end, even though they can restart it again, because as we heard Fauci say the other day, it's complicated, so it can come back any time. But I think that this weather, they might have had a little hand from China. Was last December 2020, China created rainfall to cover the whole of India, apparently, with their weather modification malarkey. Now, this year, they want to be the world's biggest weather modification.
I remember Katrina was similar in the timing, but then again, you look back at Katrina, that was a very unusual hurricane as well. There's reports of Katrina, the huge hurricane from 2005 in New Orleans in Louisiana. There was talks about the Army Corps engineers who blew up the levees. There were talks about how the hurricane stood still in one place. Look, we know that they can control these weathers. We showed it to you with suspicious sightings almost 2 years ago now, Jamie. None dare call it reality anymore.